Hi, I'm Peter, or Rupert, depends when you want to name me from, and this is my partner Judith, and this is our story about the day our lives changed. Before I left school, I knew I was going to be a farmer. It was in the blood. Helped Dad on the farm a lot whenever I could. Wag days of school so I could be on the farm. So, what's that, 50 odd years of farming. Yeah, and so the day of the morning was just any other day. This particular day I put on half a load of silage because it had been wet and headed down the back to the place of the farm where there's no phone reception. As basically I got a bit stuck in the gateway, so I unhooked a feed-out wagon. Made the mistake of turning downhill instead of uphill, as you should. And when I turned downhill, we lost traction on the tractor and it slid sideways over the bank. And I ended up pinned under the top left-hand corner of the cab with the cab and the weight of the tractor on my pelvis. And I was pretty well stuck.
It was. He's like most farmers, he's pretty well addicted to his coffee and his lunch. He didn't turn up for his coffee a bit later in the morning, and then it was getting closer to lunchtime and I still couldn't get hold of him on his phone. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm gut feeling, I'm going to go and check this out. I was following his tracks out, followed him along the top of the hill, looked down over the edge, I could see the tractor on its side with its jolly light flashing. I'm pretty sure I rang one of the other workers and they rang 111. I then, as soon as I'd told them I'd seen the tractor on its side and couldn't see Pete, I jumped back in the car and went down to him. He lifted his arm and I was like, oh, thank goodness he's alive. Not long after I went back down there, another guy turned up with another tractor and was going to lift the tractor. I said, no, we're not lifting it until the paramedics get here.
The thing what surprised me, I didn't panic. I didn't panic because the one thing I knew, that Judith had come out. Because we had communicated, and I knew if I wasn't going to be home, wouldn't be home in an hour and a half, she'd come and look. So communication on this stage is the number one.
I sat with Pete until the Greenlee Rescue Helicopter arrived, and that was one of the most amazing sounds I've ever heard. Just seeing that helicopter come, the Greenlee Rescue Helicopter come and land in the paddock next to us, I think I relaxed a little bit at that point because it was no longer just me. I had the experts on hand. The flight paramedic arrived and he basically said, who are you? And I said, I'm Pete's partner. And he said, stay right where you are. I'm going to talk you through this. We're going to get him out of here. The first thing he had to do was get Pete warmed up because hypothermia was our major risk at this point. So he had to use a chemically heated blanket to keep Pete warm, to start warming Pete's body up again. I don't know what his body temperature was at that point. But then he also put a line into Pete's arm and was putting warmed fluids into him to get his blood pressure back up. But the fact that he was using a fluid warmer to do this was, to me, was like, oh wow, that's the equipment they've got is incredible. And then he talked me through the whole process when he put the ketamine into Pete, the pain relief. He told me what Pete's reaction would be, how he did all of this and still carried on doing his job is beyond me, but they're amazing people, absolutely incredibly well-trained people that give their all for everyone.